stampers, it's Cynthia. I am back, and today I wanted to use my brand new Laurel Burch stamp set, which just came in the mail yesterday. So I was very excited to start stamping with it because it's beautiful. I don't know if you remember Laurel Burch, but back in the mid to late 1980s, she had a whole line of beautiful enameled jewelry, and just over the years she's come out with everything under the sun: ceramics, fabrics, more jewelry, art prints, just on and on with Laurel Burch items, and she just has a wonderful style. So I actually don't know the name of this stamp set. I looked at the package and it wasn't on there. They just had an item number. I bought it from Simon Says Stamp, and it's from Stampendous is the stamp company. And but see, it just has some item numbers here, so I can't tell you what it's called. But anyway, it's very beautiful. So I decided that I was going to really color it up very, very brilliantly like Laurel Burch's artwork is usually done. And so I decided to start with just a little white panel here of my Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And I just stamped it in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to color it with my Copics. So before I start coloring, I think I'm going to go ahead and just trim it out. So what I've done is I've obviously angled it across this panel, and now I'm going to trim along the top edge, and I'm just going to leave a nice little white edge. So see, even though that isn't completely perfect, your focus is still going to remain on those pretty flowers, and so people aren't going to care too much. But if you feel more confident, you can always take a pencil and just draw a nice faint line first to give you something clear to follow. So sometimes that's a little easier. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start gathering all my Copic markers. So the first color I'm starting with is YG05 as my lighter green, and my darker green is going to be YG09. And I'm not doing any shading. I just want to get the color in there. And since that color tends to dry back quite gray, I'm going to add some of the LV1 Spectrum Noir alcohol marker just to give that a little more purple look. Sometimes when I can't find just the right shade, I do a little practice run of some layered colors. And oftentimes I can find a much better match or find that perfect color just by layering. And since these are different, I mean, both alcohol markers, it doesn't matter that some of them are Spectrum and some of them are Copic, especially because I'm not blending anything. And then my final color, purple, just for this one little spot, I'm using again Spectrum Noir PL4. And there we go. So that is it for coloring the flowers. And for the sentiment, it is from the same stamp set. And here it is, and it says, "I love the brilliant colors of your spirit," which I think is a beautiful sentiment. So I'm going to treat my surface. I'm using my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I've mentioned before that I love using that ink for my sentiments. So I'm just going to ink this up nicely. And pick a spot about right here. Just go ahead and give that a nice press. There we go. And then, while it's still damp, I'm going to treat it, or I'm going to add my fine detail clear embossing powder. I've mentioned before that I love to put clear over this ink because it's just such a gorgeous rich black, and giving it that gloss really makes it beautiful. So let me heat up my heat tool and I'll melt that. Alright, very, very cute. And then there's a little tiny detail stamp in here that's just a little tiny flower that came with this same set. And I'm just going to put it off as a little accent to the side. There we go. And I did it in the Memento because, again, I'm going to color it. And since it looks like the center of this flower, I'm going to use the same blue and orange to color it. And it just kind of brings the sentiment and the flower cluster together. See, very, very cute. All right, let me go ahead and zoom back out again. All right, give you a better view. Okay, so for this card, again, with the idea of keeping your focus on the flowers and really setting them off, I decided to do a black card base. So I took my favorite things, black licorice cardstock, and the MFT cardstocks are super, super thick, which is fabulous for a card base. And I'm going to just put a little tape. And another thing is that you can obviously see how the Copic coloring bled through the cardstock. And if that doesn't bother you, then you can just leave it as is and have that, you know, be the opening of your card and you can see the coloring through. But I don't know if it bothers me all that much, to be honest. But I still wanted to set this off by using a black card base. And I actually trimmed this panel down just a little bit so that there'll be a tiny bit of black reveal just around the edge here. It's a little hard to see on my black mat. All right. So there you go. I think that looks really nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my crocodile corner chomper, and I'm just going to chomp or cut round this corner up here. So let me get a piece of light down. There you go. Now you can see it a lot better. So here is the card, and I love that bright coloring. I love the style of the Laurel Burch stamps. I got 4 more, I think, stamp sets from her, and so I'm going to be featuring those over the next several weeks. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you haven't yet discovered the fun of Laurel Burch, like I said, I got this one at Simon Says Stamp, and just go ahead and do a Google search under Laurel Burch stamps from Stampendous Stamp Company. So stampendous.com, and then you can see all the different stamp sets that are available, and they're just beautiful. So I hope you had fun. I certainly did. And if you like this video, please click like, and if you want to become a subscriber, that would be great. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.